Good morning and welcome to Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living and our Sacred Sunday service. I'm Ruth Hall, President of the Board of Trustees and currently the Production Manager for online events. Remember that we are recording this session. Let me share screen real quick. There we go. We're recording this session and we're posting it on social media. We post to Facebook and to our website so that those who are not able to join us on Zoom will be able to find us, especially those who are new and want to connect and find a place of sanctuary and community. Let me tell you though, joining in live on Zoom every Sunday is really an advantage because not only do you receive the message and the readings and the live poetry, but you also get the special music like we just saw. And directly following our service, we have a social time, a fellowship time that's not recorded. And it gives you an opportunity to connect with the community. And you also get an opportunity to have a spiritual mind treatment if you'd like from a practitioner in a separate private breakout room. So keep logging in on Zoom on Sunday morning. Now let's take a moment to unmute and greet each other this morning. So go ahead, unmute.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
morning.
Beautiful Sunday.
Namaste.
Good morning.
Okay, now mute again. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our practitioner of the day, Linda Connolly. She's not only a past president of the Board of Trustees, but she's also our chair currently of our outreach committee, and what a wonderful job she's doing with that, and a beautiful spirit. Please join me in welcoming Linda Connolly.
Thank you, Ruth. So let's just breathe in. Let's just breathe in gratitude for the breath as we connect to our breath. For without the breath, we wouldn't be here. And so from this place of gratitude and connection, we breathe into the one power, the one presence, the one life, the one love. Its center is everywhere, and its circumference is nowhere. It is this center as it expresses through each and every one of us here today that has brought us together in this divine connection, in this one power that expresses itself through Debbie Putnam as she delivers her inspired message today. It is that is spoken with the words of Doug Van Workum's poetry. It is that expresses itself through Marjorie Lukefield. It is that expresses itself through Ruth Hall, who wears many, many hats. And it is that expresses itself with such love, the one love and the one life of gratitude that has brought us here together. And I am so grateful and so thankful for this. And so it is. And now for our vision, we can read this together while we stay muted. We are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. Our mission, we inspire and nurture personal and global transformation through the teaching of the science of mind. And our purpose is in joy and love. We connect in service to all life. And so please stay tuned for a musical inspiration by Karen Drucker.
A candle in your memory, though I don't know who you are. And when I think about your family, I will wish upon a star. And I pray that they'll find peace someday. I pray they'll make it through. I'll light a candle in your memory to honor you. I'll light a candle for America. May we feel peace inside. We'll hold each other closer and wipe the tears we've cried. And I pray we'll bond together, and I pray that we'll pull through. I'll light a candle for America, for me and for you. And we will light the world with our love. I know that we will light the world with our love, with our love. I'll light a candle for humanity, for the good that's yet to come, as we overlook our differences and join now as one. And I pray we'll come out stronger in this world I'm dreaming of. I'll light a candle for humanity, to be a world living in love. And we will light the world with our love. Know that we can. We will light the world with our love. Every day and every way we will light. We will light the world with our love. I know that we can, and know that we will light. We will light the world with our love. I'll light a candle for humanity, for all the good that's yet to come, as we overlook our differences and join now as one. And I pray we'll come out stronger in this world I'm dreaming of. I'll light a candle world that's living in love. I'll light a candle. I'll light a candle. I'll light a candle.
If one will have faith in himself, faith in our fellow man, in the universe, in God, that faith will light the place in which we all find ourselves. And by the light of this faith, we will be able to sense that all is good. And the light shed by this faith will light the way for others. We become conscious of darkness only when we are without faith. For faith is ever the light of our day and the light on our way, making that way clearly visible to us, even when to all others it may be beset with obstacles and the ongoing rough. Ongoing rough, yes. Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind. Faith rises and falls like the tides of an invisible sea. You realize, I think, that it is more valuable, more mysterious, altogether more immense than anything you can learn or decide upon in college. Flannery O'Connor. God approaches our minds by receding from them. We can never fully know God if we think of God as an object of capture, to be fenced in by the enclosure of our own ideas. We know God better after we let God go. Thomas Merton. And now, as we relax and breathe into our guided meditation by Deepak Chopra, Finding the Secret, which will be immediately followed by Doug Van Workum, who has been playing the drum and sharing poetry for many years. He uses the powerful poetry of Rumi, Hafiz, and many others. He also writes and shares his own poetry, which is deeply influenced by the Science of Mind teachings. And I do believe today we are going to be truly blessed by an original poem by Doug Van Workum. So let's breathe in and relax first into our meditation.
Relax your body. Observe your breath as it goes in and out. Now move your awareness into the area of your heart. Allow your ego to move out of the way, and you will get in touch with your spirit. The great wisdom traditions say, be still and know that I am God. Between every in-breath and every out-breath is the stillness. watch the stillness between your breath, between your thought, and then watch the one who's watching. Turn your attention to the one who's listening. You have found the secret to that part of you that transcends space and time. You have found the secret to that part of you that fire cannot burn, water cannot wet, wind cannot dry, weapons cannot shatter. That part of you which is beyond fear, that part of you that is without beginning, without ending, that part of you which is the divine in you. You have found the secret to that part of you that will continue to evolve as the universe evolves. Return to your stillness. That stillness, that silence is you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday service. Wasn't that beautiful? The poem this morning is one I wrote about a year ago, and I like to think of it as a reminder poem. I hear a lot of voices out there saying in so many different ways how terrible the world around us is, and sometimes I hear my own voice saying it too. So I wanted to create something to counter that energy, something to bring my attention back to what has always been true. This is called Know Your Place, or We Are Always Standing on Holy Ground. There's a word the Sufis use, sohbet, S-O-H-B-E-T. There's a word the Sufis use, sohbet. It roughly translates to spiritual conversation. When we talk with someone, let's start by saying, please, you go first. Then listen with an open heart. When speaking, let each yes be true and every no be clear. Remember, no matter what we say or where we say it, we are always standing on holy ground. I admit sometimes my ego doesn't know the difference between change and death. It doesn't trust the unknown or anything outside of itself. Praise God, something greater within me is learning now to choose, and I am always standing on holy ground. It's true, we've all been deeply wounded in this life, but don't worry, our suffering will not keep us from heaven. Let's never forget the secret place of the Most High is within, and we are always standing on holy ground. The heart knows the way to freedom. Trust it. Go to the edge of your knowing. Then throw your heart through the open door. Jump after it, and wherever you land, shout out, I am always standing on holy ground. Never give up your longing for the spiral. Learn to rise. Be daring. Call out, God is great. Lift your eyes to heaven and say, you are my Lord. Cry out so everyone can hear. I am always standing on holy ground. Oh, Douglas, you've gone and done it again. You've made up this strange poem and put yourself on display for everyone to see and hear. Remember when you swore you would never put yourself in this kind of situation again? What do you have to say for yourself now? Well, there's only one thing I can say, and that is, thank God I am always standing on holy ground.
Thank you, Doug, for that. We are always standing on holy ground. And now it is my great honor and privilege to introduce our guest speaker, who is such a beautiful spirit, and I recognize her as a deep connection and a friend. Ms. Debbie Putnam is the leader for Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. She's a graduate of Stanford University, and she is currently engaged in ministerial studies through the Emerson Theological Institute. Her favorite things include family, friends, writing, and spending time in nature. Her mission is to empower people to transform their lives, creating a world of joy and love, and she does that from her center so beautifully. So please welcome Debbie Putnam.
Good morning, everybody. I just like taking in your faces. And by the time I get to this point in the service where I'm supposed to speak, I have been so spoken to. So Doug, for your poetry, Ruth, for your selections, for the meditation and the music, I am so deepened. We are in that still place. We are always standing on holy ground. And as our beloved Ernest Holmes used to start every talk, from what I hear, I don't know this for sure, but he would say, there is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. There's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. Today, of course, like we always do, we're going to talk about using that power and being that power, just as the meditations and the music put us in a place of, and the poem put us in a place of being that power. Today's topic is, do you have faith, or are you being had by faith? What the heck does that even mean? Let's start with, do you have faith? Do I have faith? What is faith? Where do we start in Science of Mind when we're exploring anything? We start with knowing the one, the allness of the presence, the spirit, the good, the God goddess, all that is, that one of our beloveds likes to call it. Whatever you call it, today I'll use the word God. That is where we start. So what does it mean to have faith? Okay, well, let's look at God's faith. God does not have faith in something, right? God doesn't need to. God doesn't need to have faith in prayer. God doesn't need to have faith in humanity. God created all of us. God is humanity. God is all that is. God doesn't need to have faith in God. Again, God is God. What does God have instead of faith? Instead of what we call faith? God has knowingness. God is knowingness. And so as that creation of the infinite, as one with this infinite presence that is God, we also are knowingness. We also are one with that faith, with that absolute knowing that was talked about when Deepak Chopra tells us in the meditation to go back to the stillness. When Karen Drucker talks about being the love and transforming the world. When Doug talks about standing on holy ground. These are all ways of approaching the absolute truth that we are that knowingness. That is what it means to have, sometimes we say, the faith of God, not faith in God. So again, we don't need to have faith in prayer. We don't need to have faith in each other. And thank God we don't need to have faith in politics. We don't need to have faith in God. We don't need to have faith in something outside of ourselves. Instead, we are that knowingness. We are the faith of God. So what does it mean to be had by faith? Usually we think of faith as a good thing, right? We don't think of faith being had by faith. What does it mean to be had by another person? It means to be conned, to be manipulated, to be taken advantage of. And it's something we don't like very much, right? We don't want to be had. To be had by something outside of ourselves, it means that we have to have put our trust in that thing. We have to have given it enough trust. We have to have given the con person, the con man, the con woman enough trust that they can take advantage of us. And that's why we feel so betrayed, so had when those situations occur, because we had some investment there. We had some trust in that situation. How does that relate to faith and fear? Well, let's add fear into the mix. Ernest Holmes says that faith and fear are two sides of the same coin. When I looked this up on our beloved internet, which knows all things, I found that lots of people say that faith and fear are two sides of the same coin. Why is that? It's because our attention is always somewhere. If our attention is in faith, if we're in that knowingness of God, we can't be in fear. We can't be in doubt. We can't be in worry. We are in the knowingness of God. That's what we are. We are that faith. If our attention is in other places, because we just talked to Great Aunt Bertha, who always worries, or we talked to our television because we were yelling at whatever's going on. I don't actually yell at the television, but we could. Or any other of a myriad things that can get our attention and take it away from that faith place. Doubt, fear, worry, anxiety, any of those things. When we are being in those places, we are being had by faith because our attention has been taken by something that's not really us. Our attention has been diverted into places where we really don't choose for it to be. I'll grant you that, as one friend of mine says, there are the saber-toothed tiger moments, that fear has a great value. In those saber-toothed tiger moments, if you're actually facing down something that needs your immediate attention, then fear may be the thing that propels you to be able to run or fight. But even then, we have to move from just being paralyzed by fear into an action. We have to move back into a place where we are the conscious actor. We have to move our attention into intention. What's the difference? That's our goal, right? Move our attention into intention. Attention can be conscious or unconscious. Attention we can have on things we want, or it can be distracted by things we don't want, or even just wrapped up in things we don't want, devolved into places we aren't very comfortable. Our attention can be on things that have been put there maybe by our childhood, but also race consciousness, right? The thoughts that human beings have thought for thousands of years into the great energy, the great shared connection, whatever that is. Race consciousness can be what's driving our attention. So let's shift that to intention. Intention is conscious. Intention is focused. It's not just kind of here and there and everywhere. Intention is a place where we can go now to, if anybody's noticed, if anybody's following, we're now in the third step of treatment, right? We started with the oneness. We went to, we are that oneness. We are that knowingness. And now we're in the third step of treatment with our conscious intention, with our ability to choose, whether it's for ourselves, our families, our communities, or the world, our ability to choose what we want to see, our ability to choose the good. And so we take that intention And it's not enough to just have the intention, right? We can have an intention and go, I don't know about you, but okay, I intend to do this, but maybe I'll put it off, or maybe something else catches my attention again. We take that attention and we deepen it with our emotions, with our feeling, with going back to that place where we are the knowingness of God, the knowingness, as Karen Drucker was singing about today, of love. Can you take yourself for just a moment, right this second, into that place of knowingness, of feeling that faith of God? That place in you that Deepak Chopra talked about in his meditation, where we are the stillness, we are the still place, that is in all of us. Ernest Holmes says, in order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken this conviction. Faith is built up from belief, acceptance, and trust. Whenever anything enters our thought, which destroys in any degree one of these attitudes, to that extent, faith is weakened. Whenever anything enters our thought, which destroys in any degree one of these attitudes, to that extent, faith is weakened. This is where we go into some advanced math. We often talk about how if we have faith, let's put a number on it. So if we have faith equivalent to 1, the number 1, and we have doubt equivalent to the number 1, our faith minus our doubt cancels each other out, and we end up with nothing, no progress, nothing backwards, just the same. Ernest Holmes is taking that a step further. That's why I say this is advanced math. He's taking that a step further. So let's say, like so many of us do, that we have done our spiritual practices. We've done our meditation, our treatment, our knowing. We've been in that knowingness. We've built our faith up about whatever it is to a 10. And then we ignore the calls from Great Aunt Bertha because we know she's always negative. We've turned off our TV, so we're good there. And our cousin calls. Well, unexpectedly, some doubt gets dropped in. And then some doubt maybe gets dropped in from something we overhear. And so we start getting those creeping doubts coming back again. Maybe we've built our faith to the 10 and our doubts are now at a 3. Ernest Holmes is saying, to that extent, faith is weakened. And so I would say, what happens then? Maybe we get a partial manifestation of what we're looking for, or maybe, since healing is revealing, what happens is we're getting that manifestation, it is there, and there's something in us that's not letting us see it. Again, whether it's for the world, for our families, for our communities, for our individual selves, for the person we love most in life. How do we keep our faith in that faith place? How do we keep our faith in that faith place? Faith is not static. It is a muscle. It must be built. It must be practiced. So there's 2 ways to do this. There's lots of ways to do this, but I divide them into 2. One of the ways is all of these spiritual practices we just talked about. We pray, we treat, we meditate. For me, lately, I realized that I needed to just read some good, strong spiritual books. The likes of, I think you've heard of Ernest Holmes and some of the other greats of science of mind. We build our faith through these practices. If any of you keep a journal where you write down a treatment and the outcome when treatment works, so you can go back to that and see in your moments of doubt that, wow, this really worked in that situation, that's a huge way to build our practice. We could almost, probably shouldn't say this, but we could almost just have a platform, maybe on our website or something, where people could put in treatments and things that worked. So we could just look at it and go, wow, that's an incredible, incredible building of faith. Building the faith muscle, that's part 1. Let me step aside from that for a moment and tell you about my daughter, Marie. Some of you know her. Marie can be very driven. She and her friend decided that they were going to climb Half Dome. I guess you have to put your name in a pool and they pick your name. And so she was able to climb it Labor Day weekend, just before the fires closed everything down. When she and her friend decided that they were going to climb Half Dome, they started going out every weekend and doing hikes. They started in the lowlands. They did longer and longer hikes. They made sure they could carry heavier and heavier things. They put extra water in their packs to make sure they'd be able to take it on this big hike. And eventually they went up to elevation for the last several weeks so that they could really experience what it was like to do the intense level of hiking that they were going to need for Half Dome. And I don't know if you've ever seen pictures or videos of people climbing Half Dome. I'm going to say it's probably good that I didn't see it before she went. The last part of the hike is that bare curved rock. They have posts that are anchored in the rock, and they have cables that you pull yourself up by. It's a curve, so it's not straight down or anything, but you have to pull yourself up in order to make that final piece of the hike. And of course, they had practiced. They were successful. They did it. Not everybody makes it. Lots of people do. I have no idea how many do or don't. We build our faith muscle so that when something comes up, when crisis hits, we are ready. And it really doesn't matter if it's world crisis or if it's personal crisis, if it's community or if it's family. We are ready. We build the faith muscle. Just as Marie built her muscles to be able to do this hike. And so the second way that we practice, the second way that we build that faith muscle is by being willing to do that and ready to do it in the moment, not just when crisis hits, but when small things hit. Okay, so here I am giving this talk, and I thought I better practice this too. Last night in the middle of the night, I got up and rammed into a chest of drawers. And my initial reaction was, ow, you know? And then I thought, I've got to go straight to that place that I'm going to tell you about. It's called Stop, Drop, and Treat. And so I treated, and I honestly, it hurt for a minute after I got back in bed, but I honestly don't even know where I bumped myself now. Years ago, I had this incredible experience. I was at a friend's house, and we were actually having a practitioner meeting. And someone else who was there tripped on a step and fell. And it looked pretty bad in the moment, like something had happened. And I don't even remember now if it was a knee or an ankle or what. And people were very, are you okay? You know, all of those kinds of things. What happened? Where does it hurt? And I am grateful to say that I had been building my faith muscle. In that moment, I was able to stop, drop, and treat. I treated immediately and out loud. And people to this day have told me that this was such an inspiration and motivation to them to be able to go to that place immediately or as quickly as possible. Because when we do that, it doesn't have time to become our truth. It doesn't have time to take advantage of us, to become the place where we put our attention. And so, again, I don't even remember now, it was so long ago, but this person was able to get up, really had no, very short, very limited reaction from whatever had happened. And this isn't about me. This is about the fact that all of us can do this. All of us have this capacity. Can you think of a moment when you were able to stop, drop, and treat, or when you know someone who did, who went to a knowing place very quickly? Can you think of that? Can you know that you can do it? That's the next place where we build our faith muscle. We do it by practicing it when moments come up, even little moments like bumping into a piece of furniture, which probably I could have powered through. That helps us build our faith. So our job is to stop, drop, and treat. We can do that by being the knowingness of God. We can do this with our commitment, with our decision. At the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you. That's what Goethe said. You are ready for this. So I mentioned that one of the things I've been doing is deepening my practice by reading spiritual books. This is Raymond Charles Barker, The Power of Decision. Actually, one of my early treatments was I was taking a class where this book was taught. And so I bought the book and I couldn't find it. It was lost. And I treated, and I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. It was later. It was on the lawn. If you really looked at this, it's got bite marks, probably from a dog. It was on the lawn at my dad's apartment, just sitting there on the lawn, nothing else. I'm like, okay, interesting. The power of decision. You are not an observer of the universe. You are a vital participant of the universe. Let no one ever again tell you of your unimportance. God did not make a mistake when you were born. Intelligence created you to live in these times because you are equipped to meet the challenges of these times. You are the right person in the right place to create a right world for yourself. All the resources of the infinite are already yours. They need you as a means of self-expression. You are the result of your past decisions. You will become and experience the result of your present decisions. Join me, he says, in deciding on the side of greatness. Are you ready to decide on the side of greatness? On the side of knowingness, on the side of being the faith of God? Can you find something in your life right now? And I'll give you a moment. Find something in your life. And again, this could be you. It could be family. It could be something in the world. Find something that's capturing your attention with worry, fear, anxiety, or doubt. Just do that right now. And when you have it, go to that still place. Go to the place where there is one, and it is knowingness. And I am knowingness, and you are knowingness. Be the faith of God. In that still place, you know the truth, don't you? You know what is absolutely true. The knowingness of God, that there is only love, that there is only joy, that there is only peace, that there is only wholeness. Say with me, I have faith in the givingness of the universe. I have faith in my life. And I know all is well. And you know I love to give homework. So your homework this week is whenever you're going to practice that faith muscle. Whenever your doubts come up, or fears or anxieties, or someone says a negative thing about whatever it was you just focused on, what the thing that you are setting your intention around right now, do your best to turn back to that place of knowingness, to just stop, drop, and treat. And when I say treat, it could just be knowingness. It doesn't have to be a full-on treatment. It can be turning your telescope back to the knowing that you are, the knowing that is God, the knowing that created you. For you are the expression of love through your arms, your hands, your feet, your being, your heart, your mind. Every part of you is love expressing itself, life expressing itself. You are here on purpose. Be that purpose, whatever it is. I love you. Namaste. You know, I think I'm supposed to do this prayer part too. Sorry about that. I was like, I'm good. As the slide said, you are welcome to put prayer requests in the chat, either to me individually or one of our practitioners, whoever you can reach out to Ruth, or you can go ahead and just know what it is you want treatment for. It doesn't actually have to be spoken. If it is in your intention, then you know it. And then there's also on our website, saccsl.org, there is a place to put in your prayer requests. And when we receive prayer requests, we do treat on them all week. So that's a pretty great thing. In addition, as Ruth said at the beginning, we actually have breakout rooms where you can spend about 5 minutes with a practitioner. And we have a few of us here today. So you can spend about 5 minutes just focusing on what it is that you are ready to set your intention on today. It can be healing, it can be love, it can be just a new project, anything. Nothing is too small. Remember that, nothing is too small for God. Sometimes we think nothing is too big, but remember also nothing is too small. So let's take this into treatment. In the continuing awareness that there is only one mind, one presence, one vast stillness of being, one life, an infinite life that is all power, that is all good, that loves manifesting itself as joy, as well-being, as wholeness, as laughter, as peace. That there is this one infinite creator that is all that is and delights in its beautiful creation. One knowingness. I know that I am one with this infinite knowingness, this infinite purpose of divine being, to be the head, hands, and heart of God. I know that I am one with divine power, divine presence, and divine peace. And this is true for each and every person here. That each and every person here, each and every person our thoughts rest upon, these persons and this world are one with this radiant peace and well-being of the universe. There is well-being that is the wholeness of each and every soul, each and every person here. It is the wholeness of me, it is the wholeness of each of us. There is a pure divine movement of good that is now moving through the head and hands and heart, through the feet, through the love, through the words, through the actions of each and every person here. So that each person now goes forth into their day, their week, their month, their year to transform their lives. Each and every person is able to be more and more of who they choose to be the next greatest version of the grandest vision of who they really are. So that I know that each person here, including me, is part of love unfolding, blessing and gracing the world, blessing and gracing each other, blessing and gracing our families, including our fur families, our pets, blessing and gracing our communities, creating a newer, brighter, more hopeful world, a world that works for everyone, that we create through our laughter, through our love, through every smile we give to another person, even if we're wearing a mask, when we smile with our eyes and our hearts. That love is felt, and that love is contagious. That is who and what we are, and that is what is now transforming the world. It is exactly what is now happening. And so in this knowing of the pure presence of love, of divine unfoldment of good, I now know that each of us embraces our good, opens ourselves to our good, and creates a world that works for everyone through being the faith and the knowingness of God. This is who and what we are. It is true now. It is so. And in this knowing of the absolute truth and goodness that is happening here today, that is happening here always, that is all that is ever happening, in this knowing, I give thanks for answered prayer. I give thanks and I release my word into the great law of the universe that is all power, a power for good that we can use. This power that creates universes and galaxies, hummingbirds and laughter. This power now takes this word and makes it so, and it is done, and so it is.
Yes. And now it's time for our offering. And what we are offering is an opportunity for you to give. And you can give 3 different ways. You can give through our website.
Your sound is off. Your sound went off.
I think she's gone.
I think we may have lost her, but you know what? Technology does happen. So the 3 ways we can give is through PayPal or credit card at our website, saccsl.org, or you can send a personal check to our temporary address, and that's shown on your screen, P.O. Box 223, North Highlands, California, 95660, and you'll be able to find that on our website soon as well. So, Debbie, would you lead us in the abundance affirmation?
Absolutely. I think maybe Margie she might have lost connection for a minute, so hopefully she'll be able to make it back in. I give thanks, and you can say this with me, right? I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share and my willingness to share it. Being in the flow of the law of circulation, knowing that my gift returns to me multiplied many times over. What a blessing, and so it is. I get to do some announcements too, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm doing the book study, I'll talk about that in a minute. But the books for the month, the ones that CSL has picked that form a basis for the content of this month are Parker Palmer, On the Brink of Everything, Grace, Gravity, and Getting Old, and Falling Upward, A Spirituality for the Two Halves of Life by Richard Rohr. So those are the books of the month. And the book study that I'm leading on Saturday mornings, and you can still join this coming Saturday, is The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire by Deepak Chopra. I think a lot of us know and love Deepak. He's been around for a while. This particular book is a deep dive into meditation and how meditation connects us to that infinite still place that Deepak talked about today in that the meditation that we did, into that cosmic connection with everything and how we can use that. He calls it coincidence, but he also calls it synchrodestiny, like being synchronized with destiny, synchrodestiny, how we can use that to choose our destinies, to create the lives that we want. And so if you are prepared to take a deep dive into meditation, because you will be meditating hopefully twice a day with this class, and you want to just hang out on Saturday mornings and talk about those topics, that's what this is. I would love to have you. We who are there would love to have you. We also have Wisdom Wednesdays, and that would be this Wednesday. So that's your midweek pick-me-up. Sometimes we know exactly what is happening, and sometimes we invoke the law of surprise. I don't know if that's really a law, but there you go. So this week it's a surprise. We haven't determined what it will be yet, but it is always amazing. We have had so many members of our community share their gifts. So remember, if you want to share your gifts, if you have something to share on a Wisdom Wednesday, reach out to Reverend Sharon to see if that's something that would fit on one of these Wednesdays. Thank you. Yes, this is so important. I hand it over to Ruth with gratitude.
Thank you. You know, yesterday we had another amazing, wonderful day. We had many volunteers come and help move our belongings from the center into storage. We had so much fun social distancing and wearing our masks and packing and moving. And it happened in record time. We were done by 12:50 p.m. And we didn't even have time to have lunch. So here's what's happening next Saturday, the 26th. At 11:30, we're going to meet at the center. If you were a volunteer when we were packing Saturday before last, if you were a volunteer this Saturday, if you're a volunteer that helps from the sidelines and haven't been able to come and help, come this Saturday, the 26th at 11:30. We're going to just do some spot cleaning, make sure that we leave the space beautiful, even more beautiful than we found it. And then we're going to sit on the lawn and have some pizza. The proceeds from selling a few items, Reverend Sharon was able to put it on Marketplace, and we made a little bit of money so we can have a pizza party on the lawn. Bring your lawn chair and your beverage, and we'll social distance and have some fun and enjoy each other's company and appreciate the volunteers that have really just stepped up and made this happen so that we can move forward at some point in the very near future of where we're going to go next. So thank you again so much for everyone that was there on Saturday, and please come and join us this coming Saturday. Also, you know, keep on our webpage and on Meetup and on Facebook, however you get information, keep up with CSL and find out what's going on. We have classes and events and service opportunities. You know, Linda is in charge of the outreach program. They're always doing something and finding new ways to help people. So please just keep track of what's going on our media pages. And now if you'll stay on mute and join with us, Cookie and I will sing Loving Kindness as our closing song. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. And I am happy. We are filled with loving kindness. We are well. We are peaceful and at ease. And we are happy.
And if you'll remain muted and say with me our affirmation for the week. I surrender into the grace of the one knowing I am divinely guided in all I do. And now if we take a moment and go into the center of our loving heart in gratitude for the service today, for the knowledge that we received from our speaker, Debbie Putnam, practitioner. And I know that now that faith is knowledge, and that I give thanks for that, and that I know that we go through this week with faith, and we feed the side that gives us courage and strength and love and support. We support each other. And so we bless today in the service and each other And we take our blessings and love out into the world, for that's who we are. Faith in action. And so it is. Thank you. And join us for fellowship.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello.